my name is Sam, my pronouns are they, them, and welcome back to my office. So today we are doing my April monthly reset. I'm really excited to kind of very quickly show you what I read in March and then go into what April's going to look like. I do want to say that my March wrap-up is not going to be very extensive. And that's because I just put out my wrap-up for the Trans Rights Readathon. So there were only a couple other books that I didn't talk about in that. Most of my reading was done during the Trans Rights Readathon. So that's going to be really quick, and we're just kind of going to fly through it because I've got big plans for April. So let's kind of get started. So I'm sat next to my currently reading and my TBR cart. So it's basically got, this is my TBR for April, this is everything that I read in March, and the way that I do it is once I'm done filming this, all of these books are then able to go and be put away. And we'll start, every time I finish a book for April, we'll put it down here. So it just makes things a little bit easier, a little bit more organized. So let's go through some March stuff. So I guess we will start with my lowest rated, which was Stakes Are Made by Meryl Wilsner. I gave this a 3.5 stars. It really wasn't bad. It is an age gap bisecting relationship book, and it really wasn't bad. It's between a college age girl and a parent to a freshman in college. So both people in this are well past the age of consent, and there is nothing really wrong with this. It was just missing a lot for me. I felt that the author could have taken the characters a little bit farther. This was pretty much just a romance. Just a romance. Nothing else to it. So I felt like the characters fell flat. I looked at them and I saw so much potential. Then we had Dead Girls by Nekesa Afia. I gave this a 4 star. This is a lesbian black murder mystery set in the 1920s in, I believe, Harlem. This was really good. I really enjoyed her writing. I'm not like a super mystery person, so I thought that the mystery element of it was perfect for me. It definitely wasn't like advanced. Like if you're someone who reads a lot of mystery, this probably wouldn't impress you to the extent that it impressed me. But I loved it. I had such a fun time with it, and I'm excited to continue on with the series. So then, I think this is one of the few books that I didn't talk about at all this month, and that was Unwind by Neal Shusterman. So this book I picked up in my school library when I was maybe in 7th grade, and I only ever got halfway through it because it scared me so bad. So Neal Shusterman is not right in the head. I love him. His writing is amazing. He's not right in the head because this is a book about when you're between the ages of like 13 and 18 and your parents decide that you are garbage, or the state decides that you're garbage and you're not really worth much. They're just like, okay, we're gonna unwind you and take all your body parts and give them to people that we deem more worthy or that have more money. So parents can basically send their children off to get because they don't feel like they're valuable enough as living people, or they're too much trouble. So this is like a classic dystopian. This is from when I was a kid. I think this was from like the mid to early 2000s, and it was messed up. I gave it a 4 stars. I really liked it, but I spent a lot of it listening to the audiobook at work and then going up to one of my coworkers and you'd be like, you have to hear about this chaos that is ensuing. This is so messed up. And he looked at me when I told him that I had picked it up when I was like 11 originally, and he was like, so that's why you're messed up in the head. And I was like, you're not wrong, but thanks, Nick. So lots and lots of trigger warnings in that one. Really good. Neal Shusterman's a favorite of mine, though. My last 4 star of the month was In the City of the Middle of the Night by Charlie Jane Anders. I talked about this a lot in vlogs in my wrap-up. It's a sci-fi, and it's super messed up. Basically, all you need to know is that if you like really, really well-written characters who are just kind of deranged and crazy and messed up, but it's a very slow progression of that, then you'll like it. Charlie Jane Anders is a master at character development. So, I feel like that's all that I would need to hear to want to pick up this book, so she's a fantastic trans author. Okay, my one and only 4.5 star for this month, which I haven't talked about at all, was Radiant Sin by Katee Robert. So, I have a love-hate relationship with Katee Robert. I really enjoy her Dark Olympus series, but I don't really enjoy anything else that she has written, or at least that I've consumed so far. And I've gotten a couple done. So I don't really stray from her Dark Olympus series anymore, but the second she puts out a new book for that series, I go and grab it because I love it. This one was between Cassandra and Apollo, and it was good. It was really good. This is like, Katee Roberts is like one of my guilty pleasure authors, where it's like, I don't really want to talk about what happens in these books very much, but I always have a good time with this series, so I don't really have anything intelligent to say about it in any capacity, other than it's smutty, it's cute, it has big girl rep, it's got bisexual rep most of the time, and it's pretty good. I like the relationships. All of the other things going on around it, it's not really that big of a deal for me, but I like the relationships in it. Okay, let's speed run some 5 stars because I've talked about these to no end. Now She Is Witch by Kirsty Logan. 5 stars, amazing. If you're looking for something that relates to the You Make Me Do Too Much Labor song, I don't even know the name of it, great option. Lesbians, witches, fun stuff. Peter Darling, Austen Chant. Peter Pan trans retelling. Really good breakdown of the Peter Pan story in a really interesting mental health way. The Four Profound Weaves. Shortest fantasy I've ever read. Trans rep, fantastic world building. Absolutely stunning. Light from Uncommon Stars by Ryka Aoki. 5 stars. Incredible. Epitome of trans pain and trans joy, and the Queen of Hell and some aliens running a donut shop. Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Trans Latinx. The author uses Latinx. I don't have any say in the conversation, but I respect Aiden Thomas and his preferences. Trans Latinx boy falling in love with a ghost and solving a murder mystery. And then Dear Senthuran by Akweake Emezi, which is their memoir. Fantastic in the way that it is structured and written, and I really enjoyed getting to see exactly where they came from and how they got to where they are today. That brings me to all 11 books that I read this month. Okay, that's all the books that I read this month. Now I have to put all those away at some point. But let's break down what's going on for April. April, I have big dreams. Big dreams. Most of them revolve around fantasy. So, I've got a lot going on in the month of April. You know, a lot of reading to do, a lot of other work to do. The sun's finally starting to come out, so it's time to go outside and have some fun now that Maine is less of a hellhole. So let's go through my reading plans. Now, the first thing I have to do that I've already started is read The Faithless by C.L. Clarke. This was actually the March read for the NB Book Club, and I ran behind, and I did not pick it up yet. This is the second book in the Magic of the Lost series by C.L. Clarke. I read Unbroken, I think back in January, and I thought it was pretty good. It is a story between Luca, who is the princess of an invading, colonizing country, kingdom, I don't know what you want to call it, and she had kind of this weird dynamic romance with our other main character, Terrain, I hope that I'm saying her name right, who was a soldier for the Saiyans, which is an army for Luca's empire that is built of children who were basically just kidnapped from their original homes and countries, and they were taken to be trained and militarized. It's real messed up. A lot of messed up things are happening. I enjoyed Unbroken, but I think that I'm already like 30 pages into this, and I think that I'm enjoying Faithless more at this point. The next one is When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. So I found this at my library, and I've been staring at this book for months now because this cover, oh, there we go. It's the prettiest color. I have no idea what this is about at all, but it has very pretty green dragons on it. So I don't care. Let's see. Alex Green is a young girl in a world much like ours, except for its most seminal event, the mass dragoning of 1955. When hundreds of thousands of ordinary wives and mothers spread wings, scales, and talons, left a trail of fiery destruction in their paths, and took to the skies. Was it their choice? What will become of those left behind? Why did Alex's beloved Aunt Marla transform, but Alex's mother did not? No one knows. It's taboo to speak of. I'm excited about it still. The third one is The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reid. This was part of my Trans Rights Readathon TBR that I didn't get to, but I'm really interested in picking this up still. I want to see if I enjoy Ava Reid as a writer, because she has another book that she put out recently that I am dying to read, but my library doesn't have it, so I would have to buy it. So I want to make sure that I like her writing before I pick it up and spend the money on it. The next one is going to be Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This will be the last book in this series, which I'm trying to currently read through Leigh Bardugo, her backlog, because I really love her. So this is basically just trying to finish up kind of where I am at in this series so I can move on to Six of Crows. I know that you don't have to read this series before you read Six of Crows, but I just kind of want to move through in the way that things were published for the most part now. Okay, so the next one I picked out is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. So I got this for Christmas last year, and honestly, I know that this is like more of a contemporary. This focuses around video games, and I believe chronic illness, if I'm not incorrect. I'm not entirely sure at this point, but basically I was going through my shelves and I was like, wow, I'm kind of consuming a lot of fantasy. Maybe I should pick up something that is not fantasy to give me a little bit of a break so I don't burn myself out on fantasy. So I saw it and I was like, I'm gonna pick that. It's gonna be great. And I know the main characters' names are Sam and Sadie, which is me and my dog's name. So that's gonna be a weird experience, but I'm excited for it still. Now we have to get into my big thing for this month, and that is going to be The Priory of the Orange Tree and Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. So I'm rereading Priory before I read Day of Fallen Night, and I will be doing a vlog of these, and that's my kind of big project for this month, because these are chunky books. But I really loved Priory of the Orange Tree, and I feel like I consumed it over like almost 2 months the first time I read it, because things in my personal life were not that great, and I feel like I want to read it more continuously at a faster pace so I can kind of rehash everything that this is about, because I don't remember it that well, but I loved it. And I know, I knew at that point in time that if I had read it faster, that I would have loved it more. So I feel like I need to give it a chance and reread it before I go on to the prequel. But, like, it's so big. It's so big. It's literally like 800 pages. It's fine. I'm really excited for it still. It's just gonna be a hefty ask. Okay, and then the final one for this month is book 2 in the Unwind series by Neal Shusterman. So this is kind of like, that one's going to be kind of a mental break for me, because it's kind of like classic 2000s YA dystopian. Don't get me wrong, the story's messed up. The story's messed up, the plot's messed up, the writing is messed up, all of it's messed up, like in a really good way, and I enjoy the series. But it's just gonna kind of like take me out of everything and be something that's easier to read, easier to get through. So I just wanted to kind of push that in to continue on with the story. And then there is one other book. God damn it. Okay, I know that there's another book that I need to read in April for the MB Book Club, but they have not posted the little clip yet on what it's supposed to be. And that's fine. That's fine, because I'm going to procrastinate it until towards the end of the month anyway. But if you're interested in keeping up with trans, specifically non-binary books all year round, we've got the MB Book Club that is hosted by Jessie, who uses plural pronouns specifically, so they use they, them, and y'all. So we will eventually know what April's book for the MB Book Club is. I know that they posted it somewhere, but I follow them in too many different places, so I'll just wait until something gets posted on Instagram and I can keep track of it. It's not that big of a deal. So my TBR for the month of April includes 9 books in total, including the one that I'm not sure what it is yet, which is a very intimidating number, especially because some of them are very large, but I am going to do my best and get back into things. March is always a really hard month. I think March and August are the worst months. I always have a really hard time in March and August. So March did end up being a very hard month again this year. I feel like, as it is every year, but I'm ready to take everything back in my own hands and start fresh for April. For the month of April, look out for my quarterly check-in. We've got my Samantha Shannon reading vlog for the Priory of the Orange Tree and Day of Fallen Night, and a couple other fun things that are going to be coming out. So if you want to continue to hang out with me, you can subscribe here, or I am also on Instagram and TikTok under Fictional Fabrication, but I have to say that I am most consistent on YouTube. So I hope that everyone is having a fantastic day, and I will talk to everyone next week. Bye.